I remember the night of December 4th as though it's happening live. My girlfriend of 6 months and I were out for a drive. In my recollecting mind, I never meant to contrive, but conviction demands of me a more honest deep dive. We drove to a wooded area just outside of town. The only sound around was my lips falling to a frown. My girlfriend sensed the angst and asked, "Honey, what's wrong?" I didn't miss a beat as I delivered the same old dance and song about how I'd been waiting so long and trying to hold on strong. She gave in. The manipulation worked that night, and for the splittest of split seconds I flew kite height. But in that very instance I also sacrificed my sight and robbed my future wife of her God-given divine right. I remember this pretty girl with blue eyes and a dimple who said drugs were liberating, not evil or sinful. She showed me a tiny pill about the size of a thumbnail and promised if I swallowed it whole my mind would set sail. The life I'd lived in black and white reduced to gray shades. I stole $50 from my roommate because the addiction pervades. It became a god to me, so that invariably I put my hope in the next party and kept company with misery. I couldn't keep a relationship or a consistent group of friends. I fell so far off the deep end that coming up gave me the bends. I was high at my graduation. I'm not sure why they let me walk. What if I'd been valedictorian and had to stand up there and talk? But that's delusional thinking. The kind that bleeds out when I'm drinking. I may be wearing a suit now, but my life is quicksand and I'm sinking. Drug addiction and abortion, reduced tide to a paltry portion. I can't be a chosen son. I'm more like a notion. I've let my wandering eyes gravitate towards sultry. I've stained the world with the carnage of adultery. I've lied on expense reports. I've been harsh with my kids. I've got a long list of did-nots and a blank one for dids. I did not honor my wife and love her as myself. I did not abstain from moving in pornographic stealth. I did not put upon the shelf my pursuit of worldly wealth, and now I'm ranking material items above Christ-centered health. Dear God, look at my life and the mess that I've made. My one prayer now is that these memories would fade. The flashbacks cut my soul in half, leave me bare to the world like a newborn calf. Even among the evil, I'm the lowest riff-raff. Please strike me down with thy rod and thy staff. I can't get the aborted baby out of my mind. Those extinguished heartbeats and I are forever intertwined. I'm 70 years old now, please tell me when I'll find a non-alcoholic laxative for this emotional bind. I tell my kids now that I love them dearly, and we see each other 2 or 3 times yearly. But it's clear to see there's no space for me between their heads and their hearts. In the sunset of my tapering life, they're just actors playing parts. I know that a lifetime of decisions created these divisions. I know the Son of God has risen. Sin is still the bars to my own prison. Please, God, put these rusty nails through my dirty hands and secure the cross so that it surely stands tall beneath the weight of my earthly transgressions. My life from my sin, let that be my legacy lesson. My son, it's good to see you in the twilight of your life, with an understanding of the impending need for sacrifice. But I have to insist that you release the tools of crucifixion. When you're sickened at the pharmacy, do you fill your own prescription? I know your heart, mind, and soul in the remorse of your life's affliction. But long ago you put your faith in me, so now follow my diction. I am the sovereign king who promises providence, unconcerned at all with your tenets or guilty penance. If salvation was built on works, then your ultimate sentence would leave you exposed and stripped naked with hell's other residents. But works are a moot point if you'd offered me space in your heart where a relationship is crafted of grace. Regardless of creed, ethnicity, or race, I set the pace for the chase that ends with you seeking my face. Please, son, tell me if I'm off base, but your life is brittle bone, and I'm the Trinitarian brace. And that's why you'll never carry the shackles, nails, or tree. I pleaded with my Father, instead of them, please take me. I don't care what they deserve, and I'm not grading on the curve. Father, please show them directions to their very last nerve. Fray their edges, pull the rug, and take their knees to the floor. To my people, I'll be famous as I show them I adore every sinful cell and every rebellious choice, and every time they decided to ignore my still small voice. All this goes for you too. Your regrets I can see total more than a few. With your free will you picked paths that led down troubled roads, but I offer redemption with my life, even when yours implodes. Your aborted child is currently keeping company with me. That's a gift you'll have to trust your mind's eye to see. Your wife of 30 years loved you despite all of your faults. Her life's fondest memory was your first date chocolate malts. And know the people you wronged with clear conscience, and the eyes you flooded with pornographic nonsense, are forgiven too with repentance. and redeemed because of my self-inflicted life sentence. And I know you lament the way you treated your offspring, missing graduations and birthdays, chasing every material thing. And I know that chasing the gold wasn't the reason alone. You were trying to outrun traits that were genetically sown. The time has come. Release all of that to me. Let your guilty conscience now be sprinkled with my blood. Cleanse the evil from your mind with a 40-day and night flood that wipes clean the entire slate and allows my love to radiate through my most heavenly trait, that I am your propitiate. That means in place of your body, mine goes up on the cross. In my love relationship with you, this is the secret sauce. Though God, I came to earth to live as a perfect man, sinless and blameless, so that before the Father I could stand as the spotless lamb to bear the burden of punishment's hand. Death when I didn't deserve it. Death prescribed before time, though I never once earned it. Among the blessed Trinity, it was I who chose me. And so I died. The world went dark and they placed me in a tomb. 3 days later, I rose again and emerged the church's groom, to take you as my bride, teach you to live without pride, to gaze longingly at your immaculate face and envelop your heart with my holy embrace.